My sister gave me some extra dill she had, so I've decided to dehydrate it. I have nothing at the moment that I want to ferment, and I don't want to ferment solely or pickle solely because I have some dill. So I've decided to dehydrate this. What I'm going to do is wash it, lay it on the dehydrator tray, and then I'm going to go to my garden allotment and I'm going to harvest some dandelion leaves. Now, there certainly isn't enough dill to fill my dehydrator, so I thought I would try something different and fill it up with dandelion leaves. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get started by washing it and loading it on the dehydrator tray. I've loaded up the dill onto the dehydrator tray. I've used parchment paper because this is just going to break and go right through. So I'm going to do it with parchment paper this time. So I'm actually cooking bread as well. So when I finish cooking bread, I'm going to go up to my garden allotment and harvest some dandelion leaves and dehydrate it along with the dill. I'm picking dandelion leaves here in the field. It's illegal to spray pesticide on this field. So, you know, this is going to be pretty healthy, I guess. I would presume the grass in the allotment garden is cut so often the leaves never get, you know, get very large. They're continuously cut back. I'm going to continue to pick the dandelion leaves, and I'm sure some of the leaves will be long on my own plot because the grass hasn't been cut in there at all. I need to bring my weed whacker. So here we are. That's what we're looking at. I'd like to know what that is. I'll have to come check this out another day because it looks like it is going to flower at some point. While I was at my garden allotment, I picked a lot of dandelion leaves and I harvested some of my chive. So I'm going to dehydrate this along with the dill my sister gave it to me. And before I do that, I'm going to wash it. I'm going to wash this, put it on the tray. So I'm going to wash and chop the chives, all right? And I also harvested, oh, well, look at that, eh? It's kind of bent now. I also harvested some asparagus. One. Anyway, I'll bring you back when everything is ready for the dehydrator trays. I always manage to spill something. Anyway, that's better than spilling lye all over the floor like I did when I was making soap. Alrighty, now here we are in the dining room. I have 3 trays of dandelion leaves. And I have 3 trays of the chives. And at the very bottom, oops-a-daisy, I have the dill my sister gave me. So I'm going to turn this on and get dehydrating. I could do it outside on the balcony because of the chives, but you know what? I don't mind the aroma. So I'm just going to turn it on. I'll bring you back. Let's check the progress of the dehydrating herbs. So I'm dehydrating dandelion leaves, chives, and dill. So I've turned off the machine. Take off the lid. Okay, so the dandelion leaves, they look mostly dry. They are, okay, so they are dry. However, there are some stem parts, it appears, that still need a bit of drying. So I'm going to leave that in, and I would presume the same is so with this. Actually, that stem is dry. There's one that's slightly damp. Okay, so we'll leave that in for a little longer. I'm going to presume the third is in the exact same condition. So here are the chives. The Chives look dry. Yep, they feel dry. They're ready. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out. The tray is slightly warm, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave these. Actually, I won't put it on top because I'm going to turn the machine back on. Let's just put that there. Okay. Presume the same is so with this. I'm going to let these cool down a little bit, and then I will jar them. And here's the last tray of chives. Woohoo! Lots of chives. Okay, so the dill. Let's check out the dill. Okay, the dill is definitely done. So as with the chives, I'm gonna just leave it out to sit, and I will jar it later. Oh, lots of chives inside there I need to get. Okay, I'm going to clean that up, and then I'm going to turn this back on to just dehydrate it a bit more so the stems are dry as well. I'm going to put the dill in my dill jar. Now, I purchased these a couple of years ago in the US. They're probably available in Canada now. Personally, I don't like them. When you shake out your herbs, it all collects in here. So it could have been designed differently, in my opinion. It's not my favorite, but I typically don't even use this feature. I just keep it closed. So let's get the lid off. One hand. Okay, great. Super. We're just going to roll that up slightly. Really easy. Here we go. Great. That's that. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a rolling pin to just slightly crush the dill that's in the jar. There we go. Excellent. We'll take this off. We no longer need it. There. I could put it in the into the Ninja, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave it like that. Press it down a bit, and there's fresh dill. Now, I'm just going to leave the lid off of that for a while, leave it on the counter, and later I'll come along and cover it up, just in case the dill is still slightly warm from the dehydrator. So I'm going to go to my garden allotment, and I'll come back and do that later. My chives have sufficiently dried, so I'm going to put them in a storage jar. I took them out of the food dehydrator and just let them sit. Sometimes when things come out of the food dehydrator, they're just a little bit warm. So this way it's cooled down and I can pack it up. No problem. So again, I'm doing this one-handed. Not so easy. So in all, I have 3 trays of chives I harvested at my garden allotment. Actually, I went there today. There's a lot more chives I could be dehydrating. Maybe I'll do green onions instead. There. Excellent. There's always a few strays, isn't there? Sorry about that. Okay, so let's do the next one. Great. Just move them down a bit. One-handed style. Excellent. You know, if I'm going to do green onions, I'm going to save these parchment paper pieces. There we go. And last but not least, the 3rd tray. Excellent. Done. So there you go. Dehydrated chives. The dandelion leaves feel ready. The stems are brittle. When I checked it earlier, the stems were still a little soft, so I guess they're done. Excellent. Okay, so let's get moving with these. I'm going to put these in the Ninja cup. Now I'm going to try and bypass the food processor step. I purchased a new food processor and I'm yet to put it through the dishwasher. So let's try putting it in the Ninja directly. Okay. I expect I'll get some wastage if I'm not careful. You know, surprisingly, when I harvested these, as well as the chives, I didn't get a lot of grass. I mean, I did come home with a couple of strands of grass, but not too much. Excellent. See if this method works for the strays. Okay, great. I'm going to get the blade and I'm going to try and work. I'm going to spare you of the Ninja sound though and get on with pulverizing the rest of these dandelion leaves. Here it is. For the most part, it's broken down. It's not a perfect job, but I'm okay with that. I'll just put it in a smoothie, or who knows what I'll put it in. Let's see. Maybe I'll put it in conjunction with pasta in some green dishes. But here you are, give it a try. Now I'd like to say I'm going to, go and harvest more, and there's plenty of dandelion leaves, but there's so much work to do on my plot. I've made a lot of progress since Sunday, so I think I'm going to stick to getting my plot ready. So here they are all. We've got chives, dandelion powder, and dill, all dehydrated and jarred up.